Órale, Cholo Trucker here, M.A.S movies and shows, and here we got The Conjuring. The devil made me do it. So over the weekend, I was kicking back and I was like, you know what? What's a movie that we can watch? My beautiful crazy local wife wanted to watch something a little scary. I'm like, yeah, let me go ahead and check things out. And I kind of forgot about this one right here, which is, I believe, part three of the Conjuring movies. Um, and I'm like, oh yeah, man, let me see. Let's go ahead and check this one out. Now, here's the thing. One of the reasons why this one kind of went over my head was because of all the bad reviews that it got. I know people that went to go watch it in theater and they came on and they hated it. And people that watched it once it was out of theater and they're like, oh man, don't bother. Don't bother. It's not good. It is not good. Now, look, for me personally, The Conjuring has been the best franchise when it comes to horror films. And I will throw in the Annabelles and the Nun in there as well, because it's all connected. It's all part of the Conjuring. Those movies are. So you throw all those in there. There's not one of those movies that I would say is a bad movie. They're not all great. Okay, I'm not gonna say they're all great. They're all blockbuster hits. Nah, chale. But I don't think any one of them are bad. Um, the worst I would say is probably decent. How about that? But I don't think there's any one of any of the Annabelles, any of the Nun, the Conjuring movies. I don't think there's any one of those movies that I would say, at least for me personally, that would say, man, that movie sucks. No, 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 no. At worst, I would say, it's okay, but bad, no. So when I kept on hearing that The Conjuring Part 3, which is this one, The Devil Made Me Do It, when I kept hearing that, man, this one sucks, it's horrible, it really turned me off because I did not want to experience a terrible movie when it comes to this franchise that I'm a big fan of. But nonetheless, I went ahead, I watched it, and look, it's got the same characters, right? Um, it's a little bit different. I'll definitely say that, as opposed to somebody being, completely possessed. It's a little bit more with somebody playing with spells, somebody playing with like witchcraft and curses and things of that nature. Nonetheless, it still needs Ed Warren, the Warrens and all. It needs their assistance to kind of figure all this out. And look, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys this, man. Okay. I thought it was okay. I'm not gonna say it was great. Now, maybe going into the movie, my expectations were very low because I was expecting something terrible. So maybe my expectations were already low because of what everybody was telling me about it. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys, man, I liked it. I liked it. I'm not gonna say it's a great movie. I'm not gonna say it's as good as the first one or any of that sort. But I'm gonna say, look, if you're a fan of the Conjuring movies, the Annabelles, Nun, anything like that, yeah, it's definitely worth giving it a look-see, man. It's probably not gonna live up to part one, that's for sure, because it doesn't, but it's not that bad. I At the end of the movie, I wasn't like, oh man, I wasted my time. No, I was actually glad that I watched it. I was watching with my beautiful crazy local wife, and we're just kind of like, hey, it wasn't that bad. It was actually, it was, I don't want, maybe even pretty good. It was okay. She agreed. And like I said, maybe our expectations were very low because we heard some really, really bad things about it. But look, nonetheless, man, it's this kid right here that you see in front looking right at you. And, he basically takes the curse off of the little boy who is cursed in the very, very beginning of the movie by inviting it to him, saying, take me instead. And that is pretty much where the movie begins. And we got to figure out how to get rid of this. And why can he read from a Bible? Why can he, if he is possessed, then how is it that he can do all these things that would set off, a terrible spirit, a demon of that sort? And they can't figure it out until they realize, oh, it's a curse. It's something a little bit different here. And look, the Warrens do their thing. And look, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So I'm not gonna trash on the movie. I'm gonna say, for me personally, the Conjuring movies, everything connected to it, the Annabelles, the Nun, is still the best horror franchise for me personally ever. Does this one make it take a step down or two? No, not really. I don't know what people are really expecting once you get to like part 3. Especially, finger quotes, if they're supposed to be based on true stories. Again, I don't want to get into all that. Like, hey, this didn't really happen. They've been exposed. I'm not getting into all that. But I thought it was pretty good. If you're a fan of the Conjuring movies and have not seen this one, I do recommend you watch it. It's not that great, but it's not that bad either. It's definitely worth watching. So I appreciated it, man. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Total Trucker, M.A.S Movies and Shows. I'll catch you guys on next one.